Oceans and the continents continue to heat up. But if the threat is real, what would it mean for the Bay Area? The Pacific Ocean doesn't just dominate the Bay Area's weather patterns, it also dominates much of the environment around San Francisco Bay. And if temperatures continue to rise, it's one of the first places you'll see the effects of global warming.
Every animal has its own heat tolerance limit, has its own threshold temperature. Let me put some water in here.
At his lab at the Romberg-Tiburon Research Center in Marin County, Jonathan Stillman is measuring the effects of heat on ocean creatures, specifically their ability to survive.
We basically take the animals out and ask how hot of a temperature can they tolerate at this point in time, how cold of a temperature can they tolerate at this point in time. Each tank has a heater and a chiller.
He says a species can develop heat tolerance over generations, but
the changes that are happening with global warming right now are so fast that the process of evolution is probably not going to be able to keep up, and more likely we're going to see localized extinction.
Other experts believe the interior bay is just as vulnerable. Some studies predict oceans could rise anywhere from 3 feet by the end of the century and up to 20 feet thereafter. Watch how much of the shoreline around San Francisco Bay would disappear under the rising water in a worst-case scenario. Peter Glick is with the Pacific Institute in Oakland. He believes sea levels rising even a foot or two would push huge amounts of salty water through the bay up towards the delta, potentially decimating wetlands and fragile fish and bird species.
We're seeing sea level rising already, and it's going to be far more rapid than anything we've seen in the past many hundreds of years and many thousands of years.
Meanwhile, miles away from the water, researchers at Stanford have begun to document the potential changes rising temperatures could have on plant life. At a site called Jasper Ridge, scientists have created more than 100 small biosites like this one.
We're projecting this little chunk of California real estate into the future.
To the year 2100, in fact. Director Chris Fields says the point is to mimic different scenarios for global warming over the next century by tightly controlling the atmosphere around the plants. Sprinklers manipulate the rainfall, lamps adjust the heat, while computerized pumps add heat-trapping gases like carbon dioxide. And what they've found so far is changes that are subtle but significant.
Some kinds of global changes tend to make the ecosystem more susceptible to invasion by some kinds of plants that are clearly undesirable.